Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. And this is our new 4-part series of Let's Meet the Playoffs. Let's go meet the 4 potential teams that can come up to the playoffs. But we're doing the championship today. We're doing Bournemouth. We are doing Bournemouth. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's, as I said, a 4-part series. But before we get into all of that, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. It does really help us out. And we will be having the playoff final watch-alongs for every single playoff final that there is. So 1 for League 2, 1 for League 1, and 1 for the Championship. This is about Bournemouth. This is a Championship at the moment. Kenny's saying wrong. I think you'll find it was definitely the right one. It was definitely the right one. Kenny's saying, never mind. Are you doing this for every playoff club? I am in the Championship. I'm unsure if I'm going to do League 1 and League 2. I might do, because there's plenty of time for me. I can have a little look at them. But yeah, there's that potential that we could do it for every single club in the playoffs. So that'll be all 8 of them. Is it 8? 12. 12, there's 4 in each league. That girl from your last stream was crazy, not going to lie. Charles is amazing. Charles is absolutely amazing. That's what I will say. Let's go Swansea City, but I think Bournemouth will win. That's an interesting one. And look, we're going into Bournemouth today. We're talking all things Bournemouth, right? This is the club we're looking at today. Tomorrow, we'll be looking at, obviously, I think it's Brentford and Swansea are the 2 we're going to look at tomorrow. And then we are going to look at Barnsley on Monday morning before all of the playoff games are done for them. That in between, obviously, the transfer show will be back tomorrow. Then we've got, obviously, match reaction to whoever's playing tomorrow. I think Arsenal are playing, so we're going to have match reaction to them as well. So some things coming along nicely. Sort of heading into that summer. Me and Saul's just got to agree on a day where we'll be announcing who we want Gareth Southgate to be taken for England. Plenty of work has been done into that. We've got the overlays, we've got the thumbnails. We're just ready to go. That is how we're seeing it. This summer is going to be so big for this channel, right? So big. So make sure all your friends are watching as well. Go make sure that all the people that follow the Championship are watching this stream, especially if they're Bournemouth fan. So honestly, how much I've actually got right, because I've got a lot written down. We're going to go through it together. Get your questions in as well. Get your comments in as well, because these streams are a lot more fun when the comments are going. I'm not going to lie. They are brilliant. They do crack me up. Let me just finish in laughing at Chelsea. Yeah, that was a bit brutal. We got a lot of views on our last show. I wonder why. Wolf saying me too, Vel. Vel saying, I need Bournemouth back in the Premier League. We need to sell Origi to them. I don't actually think they'll take Origi. They may do. They may do. Bournemouth 2-1 Brentford. Barnsley 2-0 Swansea 2. Oh. Judging from what I've seen, I think that's over ambitious, very ambitious. That's for sure. And Liverpool, we are playing tomorrow as well. As Liverpool, not Arsenal then. Right, sorted. Liverpool match reaction tomorrow, boys. I'm barely making sense of it now. Yeah, we got Liverpool match reaction tomorrow. That'd be a good one. I have Wales ancestry. That's why I'm supporting Swansea. Nah, look. Big up to yourself for doing that. Big up for yourself. I hope Barnsley or Swansea go up. Yeah, be something different. Brentford are a good team, actually. Brentford are a very good team. Brentford and Swansea both would have gone up in another world. Yeah. Brentford are very unlucky, actually. It does take a lot of points to get to the Premier from the Championship. There's so many good teams. Yeah, Swansea. Brentford definitely would have got promoted in a different season, that's for sure. Swansea may have been, yeah, look, the quality in the league has been incredible this year. Absolutely incredible. Big up to Chris as well in the chat. But what do you make of a new overlay? We've got one for each specific team as well, so no one's being left out here. All has been done. Trying to make this channel as good as we can for you guys, because that's what it's for. It's for you guys. But let's get into Bournemouth, shall we? I've got a nice spiced rum and coke, so let's get into it. Let's have a little look. Now, Bournemouth. This is a different team to the Bournemouth that got relegated under Eddie Howe, right? Obviously, as we all know, Eddie Howe left Bournemouth. Then Jason Tindall took charge of Bournemouth. He was then sacked. Now they have Jonathan Woodgate. Now, under Eddie Howe, they did play a very different style of football than they do under Woodgate. They do play very different football. That's for sure. And do you know what? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Look, form is really important in the playoffs. Going into the playoffs in good form, really goddamn helpful. I can tell you that from experience, from Argyle being in the playoffs. Form matters. It really does, especially if you played one of the teams quite close towards the end of the season. That's for sure. Kenny saying Swansea were there for nearly the entire season, then fell off. Yeah, they did. They had a bit of a fall off. Look, Swansea are a good team. Let's not get that mistaken. They're a very good team. They don't concede a lot. Right? Swansea are a weird one. We'll get into Swansea tomorrow, but Swansea, out of all of them, they're the weirdest one. Right? They are very strange in terms of how they go about it. They're judging from what I see, they're very strange, but they're a good team. I hope Brentford or Barnsley go up to see someone different in the Premier League. Yeah, I think Barnsley are the outsiders, aren't they? Barnsley are definitely the outsiders. Brentford, they're probably favourites. I think you'd have to give Brentford favourites, wouldn't you? They're a good team. Ivan Toney, of course, you can't rule out Ivan Toney. Bournemouth always go up when Watford do. Well, to a degree, they've only been in the Premier League one time over a consecutive round of period, haven't they? So, look, it'll be strange. It'll be strange when they have 15 points in 21, but so do their opponents. Swansea have 13 in 21. Barnsley have 16 in 21. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Norwich is promoted, which is the other team, Watford and Norwich. If Bournemouth go up, it'll be the first time in history that all the teams that went down went back up. Now, I don't know how I feel about that. Does that mean that these parachute payments just making it ridiculously easy for them to come back into a Prem? That's something that the EFL would have to have a look at. What have we got here? I don't like Brentford's manager because he's arrogant. Nah, he's a good one. He's a good manager. Very, very good manager, that's for sure. Barnsley are massive underdogs, I agree. Imagine fans back next season with Brentford or Barnsley in the Prem. Yeah, 100%. I think Bournemouth, Brentford are favourites. Yeah, I look, Swansea are underdogs according to the bookies. Yeah, I can see why. Well, look, we'll get into Swansea tomorrow. I've got Charlotte coming on for Swansea because she's actually from Wales. She's from the Welsh. But let's start with the formation that Woodgate has notoriously used at his time already at Bournemouth. Now, he goes for a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, right? He did try at one point a couple of it was a couple of games during the season where Woodgate was in charge. He tried 3 at the back and that did not work. So he goes with a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. Suits the players. They've got some really good players. David Brooks is one that I rate very highly. They've obviously got Jack Wilshere. They've got Lewis Cook. They've got Junior Stanislas, Dominic Solanke. They've got some really good players for the Championship, to be fair. So they're a strong team. They are a strong team. They got Chris Mentham at the back as well. So they've got a very strong team. They're up against a very strong opposition, though. They're playing Brentford in the playoff semi-finals. And Brentford are no slouch, right? Brentford are very good. The way they, and Chris has summed it up here perfectly, their recruitment is on a different level. Brentford's recruitment is something to really admire and something that for some teams it works. If you're in London, their recruitment is perfect. For someone down in Devon, their recruitment wouldn't work really for us. And their setup, they don't have a youth academy. If we were to do that, we miss out on all the talent down in Devon, and we don't have lots of big teams down here. So for me, the way we do it down in Devon is more beneficial because, to put it bluntly, there's not as many good teams down here than if you look around the whole of London. What have we got here? Done that one. Hopefully Swansea. Kenny saying, according to a bookie, Swansea have great playoff record, to be fair. They do. That is the one thing Swansea do have, is a very good playoff record. It's about the bottle. It's about the bottle at the end of the day. Chris saying, preferably want Brentford to go up. My favourite team to watch in the Championship. Mine is Bournemouth. Bournemouth are favourites. Barnsley second, Brentford third, and Swansea fourth. No. Can I just say the bookies have fucked that one royally. But Barnsley are not favourites to go up. Barnsley are nowhere near second favourites to go up. Look, Barnsley have done a good job, but they're not favourites to go up. They're outsiders at best. Now, I explain why when I do Barnsley on Monday, but no, they're far away from even being anywhere near favourites. They're not there, in my opinion. I can play for Brentford and look good. Ivan Toney overrated. Well, look, at the end of the stream, I'll open the lines up as I normally do, and people can come in and have their say and what they feel. Once I've gone through everything I want to do. Personally, don't like same teams who were relegated last season, then come straight back up. I don't have anything against them. Deserve to go up if they get promoted. It's just like, what's the point? Yeah, no, I do hear you. And then questions, the parachute payments too high. Swansea a long way off, Brentford in third, and Bournemouth clear ahead in bookies. Are you just talking to us on here, or is there a link? By the way, I think Brentford to go up. Aaron Charles says that he would love to see Barnsley go up. So what we'll do, what the plan is I'm gonna go through the information I've got. Then I'm gonna open the link up so everyone can come on and sort of have their say. And yeah, plenty of things. And Max, this will be extremely interesting to you because 3 of them are teams you're going to be playing next season. Obviously, Hull promoted as champions of League One this season. It should have been Villa relegated. Yeah, well, we all know that. Brentford are known bottlers. I think it's Brentford's year. That's my tip. I hear that. I do hear that. Now, back to the formation and the setup that Woodgate uses. As I said, formation of a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. Now, he plays with two deep-lying midfielders. In fact, the best way to sum up Bournemouth is look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and just convert it to a Bournemouth sort of setup. Very similar, and I'll explain why. They play with two deep-lying midfielders, double pivot, basically. One advanced creative midfielder, Bruno, basically, in a nutshell. Out of possession, the deep midfielders will close that gap between the centre backs. There's not that gap. So very difficult to break down. Very difficult to get in between the lines as well. It's very difficult for them to be breaking the lines. The gap's very small. If you're playing with a 10, there's just no room for them because they bunch up a bit. Everyone just sort of drops back a bit. It does work very well. But that's how their midfield is. Their midfield very much two deep line playmakers or two deep line midfielders. That double pivot that we see at United a lot. One advanced creative midfielder. Out of possession, as I say, they close that gap. So they don't allow you to breathe much. That's for sure. Now they do counter attack. Bournemouth are a very counter attacking team. There's a lot of pace in that midfield, pace in the forward line. David Brooks is huge. He's very quick as well, very quick. Someone I rate highly, actually. Wolf saying, been a while since Brentford was in the Premier League. I can't even remember him being in the Premier League, to be fair. They might have been. I can't remember it, though. Wasn't Woodgate sacked at Middlesbrough? He was. He was definitely sacked. I'm pretty sure he was. Danjuma and Brooks are different class. They are. Different class indeed. Brooks is my favourite player in the Championship, probably alongside Max Aarons. Max saying, what time you stream until? Probably 10, half 10, something around that time. It really depends on you guys. Like if we're streaming, the comments keep coming in, and I'm still going through some of my stuff. We stream. If the conversations are dried up and we're sort of finished, I'll end it. But it'll be about another half hour, 45 minutes, I would assume. Link will be in the chat bay soon. That's for sure. So do stay tuned. It will be put in the chat. So come on and have your say. Now, the creative midfielder is not really a number 10, though. This is where Bournemouth are a bit weird, because when I say it's a Bruno, it's not a traditional number 10. Woodgate doesn't play with this traditional 10. He plays with someone who links the double pivot with the forwards. Now, that's not what Bruno does. Well, he sort of does, but then he doesn't. But yeah, if you think about how they do it and what Bournemouth do, they're very much linking it. That attacking midfielder is essentially, he is creative, but he's there just to link it. He's there to link the double pivot with the forwards. It's very much how Woodgate likes to play. He's sort of the shuttler, the way I'd describe it. Ball carrier, very offering that option with the three up front sort of thing, two inside forwards / wingers. Now, this is where the similarities do come in. Bournemouth struggle against a low block. Now, but Brentford don't play with a low block. Not an awful lot, anyway. I would have to double check that, though. But Bournemouth struggle with low blocks, which would suggest some of their fixtures or some of their results. As I say, form is really important going into the playoffs. But they do struggle. They do struggle with that low block. Their last 5 games of the season were abysmal. They lost to Wickham. They lost to Brentford. They actually played Brentford. They played Brentford in the Championship in the league before the end of the season. Lost 1-0. Brentford also had man sent down. So sent off. I mean, so it wasn't great when they last played Brentford. Now, form, as I say, is important. Now, they went 3 games on the bounce with that win. Their last 2 games of the season, they actually won. So that was good for them. In the league, they finished 6th. Now, for me, that's very, very, very. It's not representative of what this Bournemouth team is. I think they're much better than that. I think they're better than Barnsley. I think they're better than Swansea. They're very close to Brentford. Brentford and Bournemouth are right up here. That's for sure. They're very good teams. Now, the reason I say that is Bournemouth, they scored 73 goals last season, or this season. They conceded 46. Now, the only team in the playoffs that conceded more than that was Barnsley. It's very, very weird. Swansea, very good defensively, but they don't score many goals either. Swansea are the team in the playoffs that haven't scored. They scored the least amount of goals. They've also the team that's conceded the least. So you can sort of see that Swansea, they're more of a 1-0 team. That's how Swansea are. They don't tend to concede a lot. Bournemouth, they've won. They won 22 games, drew 11, lost 13. They are the third worst team in terms of playoffs for games lost, and for their joint third or joint second, however you want to see it, in terms of games drawn, and they've won the least amount of games. So that is going to be a considerable issue for Bournemouth. That lack of winning. Obviously, as you can imagine, the best team in the playoffs at the moment, Brentford, with 24 wins, 15 draws, 17 losses. So it's however you really want to look at that, really. For me, but Brentford draw a lot of games though. Brentford do draw. Chris saying, I love the idea of meet the playoffs. I was thinking of things we could do, especially whilst football is sort of coming to that end. Obviously, we're about to reach we're in the last week, if we think about it. After this Sunday, it'll be our last week of domestic football until next season. So yeah, you if you think about that, we've obviously got something to do, and I thought meet the playoffs would be a good one. Might do it for League One and League Two potentially. Winner of this game will go up, in my opinion. Yeah, be interesting. It's interesting to think who does win this game though. Brentford play a high line. That might help Bournemouth. Bournemouth's last 3 games were awful. Yes, they were. It might have been actually their first 2 games they won. Last 3 they lost. Could be that. 15 points in 21. Before that, they won 8 games in a row. Yeah. A loss to Brentford though is never really going to help. Bournemouth have a poor record against playoff sides, despite having the 2 biggest wins against playoff sides. Yeah, their record, they're a strange one. Bournemouth are a stronger team than their results sort of reflect. That makes sense. Bournemouth are a bit of an oddball. But the link is in the chat. If any of you want to come on, have a chat. Max, I'd love to hear from you as well, in terms of what you think, who you think you'll be playing next season. Chris saying, shocked Brooks didn't move to the Premier League start of the season. Yeah, so am I, to be fair. I thought he would. There was can't remember when it was. It was when RJ was doing that news 1 January. Doing some news. Apparently Everton were looking at David Brooks, or Villa or Everton. I know that much. I was as surprised as you are that Brooks didn't come on. So that would be interesting. Joining in a sec. That's absolutely sound. I shall come on in 5 mins. Gotta pray. Yep, totally understand that, mate. But I don't want to say Bournemouth are favourites, because I don't know. They're an oddball. I keep using this word because they are really the definition of an oddball. Because on their day, you have to call them favourites. They have by far the strongest team. They play a way that helps them. But they concede. They do concede, but they do score. It's a really tough one because it's about the bottle. It's not necessarily about how the team plays. It's about what's up here. It's about in your head, shall I say. Now Argyle were in the playoffs at one point and we lost our bottle. The bottle just went. And if you don't have the bottle, it's very difficult. Very, very difficult. Chris saying the favourites in order, in my opinion. First Brentford, second Bournemouth, third Swansea, fourth Barnsley. I would agree with that. As I said, I think, and this is where Bournemouth will probably be kicking themselves a little bit. Because for me, if Bournemouth had got a couple of better results, they would have been facing Swansea instead of Brentford. And I just feel like Swansea is more of a opportunity to get promoted. I just think in terms of at least getting to a final, like in a one game sort of thing, anything could happen. But I think in a one-off game, it's easier to shithouse your way through. They've got to play Brentford home and away. They've got 2 legs against Brentford. That's what I think makes it more difficult for Bournemouth to go up, because Brentford are no slouch. Like I'm sure we all watched the game between Spurs and Brentford, and Spurs looked, they struggled. They struggled with Brentford, and look, I would also think that that's probably going to be the same in the playoffs. I think in the playoffs, I think they're going to be suffering from the same issue. So it's a tough one. It is a tough one. I want to say Bournemouth are favourites, but I don't think they are. I think Brentford are favourites. I think what Chris said in terms of the winner of this game gets promoted, I agree with that a lot. I really do, because Swansea are a good team, but they don't score enough. That's been arguably their biggest downfall. They're the least scoring team in the playoffs. Barnsley have scored more goals than them by 2. Swansea, they concede the least. They don't tend to concede. Yeah, I'll go Bournemouth, then Brentford, then Swansea, then Barnsley. I think I think Swansea will go through to a final. As I said, I've got Charlotte coming on for that one because she's Welsh. So she will come on to the Swansea one. I don't think Barnsley are going to get past Swansea. That I do. I don't think they will. I stand corrected if they do. I'll look like a bit of an idiot if they do. This game though, the Brentford Bournemouth game, this is the intriguing one. This is the one that really, for me, gets them juices flowing. This is going to be a good, entertaining match. Like, if you haven't got anything to do on Monday, I'm going to have some shows, but I'll have it on in the background. This is a good game to have. A great game. I'm thoroughly excited for it, mainly because of how good these teams are. Now, Woodgate needs to set up correctly, though. That's for sure. Chris saying I'm Welsh too. Lol, sorry, I'll get to my coat. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Brentford will win this year by like 1 goal, I think. Yeah, no, I do hear that. That they're a good team. We've got Kenny in the building. Who's your team that you're picking out
then? Good evening. I think I'm going to order I'm gonna order every team from worst to best in what I think
Mhm.
has chances to win it. I think Barnsley. I think they're massive underdogs. To be honest,
Yeah.
I think Swansea should get past them, but I'd love it for Barnsley to go up. And this is the story. Swansea, my mate supports them, so they're the team that I really want to go up. Barnsley are second, and who I want to go up because my mate supports them. So,
Mhm.
but I think that I don't think they'll go up. I think they can beat Barnsley, but I can't really see them beating Bournemouth
Or
or
Brentford.
Brentford.
Yeah,
I think
it's
they could.
certainly. So whoever they meet in the final, it's going to be a tough final because Bournemouth. The issue with Brentford and Bournemouth for a team like Swansea, even though they don't concede a lot, they're playing against a really good attacking team that
Yeah,
they're not open either. They're in terms of goals, there's 7 goal difference between Swansea and Bournemouth in terms of conceding. There's like about 17 goal swing in goals scored.
yeah, and also
Huge difference.
the problem with them. Also, another problem with Swansea. They have the worst out of that out of the points in 21 thing. They actually have the worst in 13, which I know is only 2 points away from 15, but they're going into the worst momentum going into it, so that also is a massive thingy. But this is not about Swansea, so I'm going to move on. Brentford, I think they're second just because I think they need to improve their mentality a bit. And I think if they do go up, it will be because of that automatic promotion. Because I don't think they have the mentality to win the playoffs. And actually, I think Bournemouth will win the playoffs because I think they have a great squad. They're going into. I know they've lost the last 3 games, but I think they were on the beach for those last 3 games. And other than that, they're 15 points in 21, tied second with Brentford, tied second best points total going into it. And I think they just have the best squad. And Jonathan Woodgate has done a great job at Bournemouth. So I think they can sneak past Brentford, and then they should be able to. I think Swansea will make a game of it, but I think they'll just be able to beat Swansea in the final. So yeah, I think not Brentford. I think Bournemouth are going up.
You're going Bournemouth.
Yeah,
Why are you going Bournemouth?
go straight back up.
What makes you go for Bournemouth then? What is it about them that gives you the confidence to the team to go up?
They have the in terms of momentum wise because they didn't lose the last 3 games, but before that they went 8 in a row or something like that. I believe that 15 points to 21, tied with Brentford actually, second best run in the championship in terms of out of 21, which is from the 40th game onwards, by the way. So that's when they did out of 21. So I think they have the best squad going into it, and also Jonathan Woodgate. I don't think he's a bad manager. I think he could definitely get something out of these Bournemouth players, and I just think that in terms of the other sides, Barnsley just don't have the squad yet. I think they're just a bit too small. Next season, I think Barnsley could have a massive shout of doing it. Swansea City, they're going into the worst momentum going into it. They won't have that much confidence. Steve Cooper is, of course, I think Steve Cooper's. I think is the best manager in the everyone in the playoffs. I don't get why Swansea fans want him out, but Swansea just a bit inconsistent now. They went it was going really good and then just dip. I think the momentum's just gone for them. I think it will be Barnsley, but I think Bournemouth will be too much for them. Who actually they lost to Bournemouth 3-0. Brentford, I think they need to up their mentality a bit before they're ready for the playoffs. I think if they do go up, it'll be through automatic promotion. I think next season or the seasons after. I don't think they can win playoffs. And also, there's a playoff hangover if they just miss out. So Brentford will be categorized as a missing out on, an automatic promotion hangover is when you just miss out 3 points or less.
Did they just miss out though?
3 points or less, and
was it 3 points? Was it? That could be a bit of a hangover.
87.
Were they ever in the top two?
I think so. I think at one point it was actually them and Swansea. I think it was. I remember at one point in the season, I think they were first, and it was Brentford first, Norwich third, Watford second, Swansea fourth. Swansea had 2 games in hand. Yeah, I think they were. I mean, they were always in it, even when they were always in it until they had that drawing run. And they also 3.8. I think it was 87 and 90, or is it 80? 4 points or 3 points. It doesn't matter because they're both close.
Brentford finished on 87 points. That's what they ended up on.
Yeah, so I think they kind of missed out because Watford. They would have given Watford a kind of a challenge, and they were only 4 points away in the end. And they beat Watford. It was just that Watford luckily beat Millwall to go up. I don't really have that much confidence in Brentford and their mentality to do it.
So and there's one person that we haven't spoken about at Bournemouth that could be quite a decider. Jack Wilshere. Now, Jack Wilshere, obviously, we all know the quality Jack has. The fitness is a different level. But does having someone like Jack Wilshere help Bournemouth in this instance? Someone who has been in tough scenarios in terms of he's been in he's had World Cups, he's had FA Cup finals, he's been in some high pressure environments. Will someone like Jack Wilshere help the other players, like maybe David Brooks, who is fairly seasoned professional now? He's done fairly well for himself. Do you think having someone like Jack will help them?
Yeah, massively. Of course, goes without saying, his Premier League experience is just unmatched compared to anyone else. I think Jack Wilshere, at full fitness, is probably Bournemouth's best player because of that experience he has. The level at the Premier League compared to the Championship, it's great. It's why so many Championship teams want to go up. I'm not saying the Championship is bad, by the way. It's really entertaining. The teams there are great. Just that the Premier League is probably the best league in the world, and you're facing teams like the United, your Leicester.
That just goes without saying. But if let's say Bournemouth go up, what's your chances of them staying up? Do you think they're good enough to stay up, or is it going to be too much for Jonathan Woodgate?
I think absolutely they can stay up just because they actually have they do have the Premier League experience before as well. And I think they do have a kind of a Premier League squad because not much of their players really went. I think Solanke, he never really hit it in the Premier League until lockdown. Actually, and then in the Championship he's been decent. I think they do have a kind of a Premier League squad. So I think Bournemouth would just stay up in like 17th. I think every team in the playoffs would have a chance of staying up. I think
Barnsley.
I think Barnsley could get somewhere with transfers. I think they'd probably finish 19th or 18th. Swansea would probably manage to sneak a 16th, 15th. I think Brentford are a tough one because either they have a really leaky defense and just stink out the Premier League and finish bottom of the league, or they do a Leeds and finish mid-table. I'll go for the Roma. But I think they probably would have a good chance of survival if they were to get that system relatively.
Yeah.
But Bournemouth, I think personally, they do definitely have the best squad in the playoffs, and definitely that will be a massive factor if they go up to surviving in the Premier League. To be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I hear everything you've said there. Chris saying Brentford and Bournemouth have the edge quality-wise over other teams. They do. That is true. As I said, Bournemouth finishing 6th is very misrepresentative of what they've actually got. Like Tyndall wasn't even doing a bad job. He had a bit of a bad one, but I suppose this is just how ruthless the Championship is. Chris saying, what's the bets on Watford sacking their manager before first season back in the Premier League next season? It's high chance, isn't there?
I think.
Have they got no? I've still got to say manager. That's Norwich, isn't it? Norwich have kept what's his name? I can't remember his name. That's the one, Daniel Farke. They kept him. I see Norwich selling Max Owens. If they sell Max Owens, they're so going down. Norwich are the definition of a yo-yo team. They're always up and down in terms of the Premier League. They've never really got stability, did they? But back to Bournemouth, they had a long time in the Premier League for them, and I think it was 5-6 years, wasn't it? A very top team. Eddie Howe obviously left his job, mutual consent. I think he was tired. I think he's off to Celtic now. But when I say Bournemouth play a bit like United, I'm not joking. They do quite a bit. You look at the formation of 4-3-3/4-2-3-1. They play with 2 deep line midfielders, i.e. a double pivot, 1 advanced creative midfielder, normally Jack Wilshere. Out of possession, the deep midfielders close the gap to the centre back, so there's no room in there. They play counter-attacking football because they've got pace in their front line. The creative midfielder's less of a 10, but he's more links to play. And they struggle against a low block. Now, if I didn't tell you that was Bournemouth, you'd assume that's United. That's the way I see it. But we've got Aaron. Aaron obviously being a fellow thingy-mabob. I've forgotten your name now. But
EFL fan.
That's the one, Doncaster. I've moved me, you, and Kenny because the overlay. I've put some effort into this. That's for sure. As you can see, although I couldn't find a proper background, I need to look for that. But Bournemouth. Now, obviously, before I start, welcome to Let's Meet the Playoffs. We're a 4-part series looking at all the teams that could be going up to the Premier League. Tonight we're looking at Bournemouth. They're an oddball. They are an oddball, to say the least. It's the way I describe them anyway. Play very similar to Ollie and United. Do you think that? What's your thoughts of Bournemouth first?
Well, firstly, I think I'm a little bit drunk after tonight. And I took one Guinness to celebrate our new manager, and then I'm taking a second Guinness because Leicester won the FA Cup. So one was safe for Wellens and one was safe for Leicester. So
I've had 3 San Miguels, and that's my first spiced rum and coke. I'll be moving on to my next.
But no, man, I'm drunk. I'm drunk. I was nearly collapsing when the full-time whistle ended, and then I was just reviving myself to celebrate. But no, man. Look, I think with Bournemouth, it's weird to not say Bournemouth without Eddie Howe. Like, it's weird saying that first of all, because he is Mr. Bournemouth. He took them to the promised land, and it was that one relegation that sort of collapsed everything in that project. Do I think Jonathan Woodgate's the right man to take them up? It's hard. I'm not going to lie, it's hard, because there's been times this season where there's some real standout players that I've been looking over the regular season. Dan Juma's really come on since last season. He's really, been the most improved player overall this season for Bournemouth. Solanke, Brooks, all these players have been doing really well.
I was just about to say, David Brooks is literally my favourite player.
Yeah, David Brooks is an amazing
It's a shame
talent.
He's too fucking good, because I'd love him at Argyle.
I was fully expecting him to go to the Premier League in the summer last year.
Oh, I know. Literally, I love him so much. I would do anything to get him at home park. Anything.
But
that's even say that Man City are a big club, by the way. I'd
yeah.
I'd do anything.
I predicted them in my prediction. I predicted them to go to the final or potentially miss out on the final to Brentford. And the reason why is because it all comes down to pressure at the end of the day. Do they have can they deal with the pressure to go that extra mile? Because I've not really seen Bournemouth in a playoff situation. I think last playoff situation they were in under was 2004 or 5, and that was the League Two playoff final with Lincoln. And I think Bournemouth as a club is great. I think it's run well now, and I think that Woodgate could take them forward. I think he could prove himself as a manager. But I think the thing with Bournemouth is I wouldn't even be surprised if they don't go up this year, because I expect them to be automatically promoted next season. And the reason why I say that is because I think they'll have that first full season on the Championship under their belt. I think in the semi-final, Brentford will want it more. And even if they get to the final, I think Barnsley have the edge over Bournemouth in terms of fighting spirit. So I think Bournemouth just needs that full season back in the Championship and get over the second season syndrome, in my opinion. I think that although they've got some wonderful players, do I expect the likes of Brooks and that to leave if they don't get promoted? Probably. It's the same if Norwich didn't go up. If Norwich didn't go up, I would have expected Buendia, maybe Pookie, Cantwell, all those players to be going up to the top level. So, Max Aarons, not to Arsenal, they don't deserve it. But I think that overall, Bournemouth, if they don't go up this year, they'll go up next year, 100%. But I think they'll need to dig out something special to beat Brentford. And then if they face Barnsley in the final, they need to dig really deep, because I know Barnsley are going to be up for it.
No, I hear that. Kenny just put the most fraudulent comment in the private chat I've ever seen. Basically said they had Bournemouth down at 14th. I don't know if you've been
Has he been drinking some strong stuff and smoking a spliff? Because I would not put Bournemouth anywhere near 6th, let alone 14th.
I hear that. Wolf saying big up Aaron. Chris saying have to go, take care, everyone. Take care to yourself as well. I mean, playoffs always a strange one, but out of Bournemouth, who's the three that, in terms of the three players that you think can do the job? Which three are you looking at going, they've got it?
See, I'm conducting a list here from 5. I'm going to go with David Brooks, Dominic Solanke, and Arnold Danjuma Grooveld. I think that those three are the ones.
Jack Wilshere.
That's what I mean. Jack Wilshere's in my 5, but I think Danjuma's been the most improved player. I think Solanke's been a massive goal threat, and I think that I've gone drunk again. What's his name? I think David Brooks. I think he's just that good. I think Jack Wilshere's a very, very close one. Don't get me wrong. Jack Wilshere and Jack Stacey, they were, they were nearly there. But I think just the other three above them, only just.
Yeah, no, I hear that. We've got Max in the building as well. Before we go to Max, though, Luke saying do not want Bournemouth back in the Prem. The link is in the chat if you want to. The link is in the chat if you want to explain what.
I also just said I think Bournemouth will go up automatically next season if they don't go up this season. So,
well, Luke said do not want Bournemouth back in the Prem. So if Luke wants to come on and explain it,
It's probably if they went down last season, it'd be a bit boring if 3.
Super Jackie Wilshere. You should want him coming up then. Link is in the chat for anyone who wants to join us. But Max, you're going to be facing 3 of these teams. Obviously, just been promoted as champions of League One. Obviously, Aaron, your team not quite champions, were they? You won the league back in February or March, wasn't it? And it all went downhill. It was actually the
It's all
minute
about
you
building
said
next season. It's all about building.
the minute you said that you were going to walk the league and you were going to a championship, you actually managed to get relegated. Not relegated, but almost felt like that.
Yeah.
I do love putting it in there. Wow, Kenny, you really need to stop giving predictions, mate. That's all I'm going to say. But Max, what's your thoughts on Bournemouth?
Well, obviously they came down from Premier League last season. They have been a tough side for most teams to break down at the back. When I'm trying to predict playoffs, I don't tend to think about the form in the league because it's all about the day that they play on. And with Bournemouth playing Brentford, it is Brentford, isn't it? Yeah, with Bournemouth playing Brentford, it's going to be a very tough game. So, obviously, I said in the comments, I don't think that it's going to be. I think it's going to be like the FA Cup final today. It's going to be decided by one goal, and that one goal is going to be by one team just passing it around a little bit, making space, and not rushing the attacks too much. I'd really like to play Bournemouth again. Yeah. I'd really like to play Bournemouth again, but if Brentford stay down, then that's just unlucky for them. And it's just going to be good fun for us.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Bournemouth, I've always said they're the oddball. But Luke, why on earth do you not want Bournemouth back in the Prem?
I don't really like Bournemouth as a club, to be honest, and to have all three, to have all three promoted, like all three teams that went down promoted again, it's not like it's kind of pointless, to be honest. Like,
is he jealous that Arsenal's worse than Bournemouth?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Why don't you like Bournemouth as a club though?
I don't know. I've just never really liked it. To be honest, I'm a fan of their story.
In the championship in a few seasons.
I'm a fan of them. I'm a fan of their story, like them coming from League Two and Eddie Howe, and he left them and then came back to them and took them all the way to the Prem. But to me, they always just kind of seemed like the Premier League club that was just kind of there, like for two. Like they always seemed like they would get relegated, and like I was surprised it took them that long to get relegated. To be fair, I thought they would have been gone a lot sooner.
To be honest, the whole Hawkeye and
if it weren't for goal line technology, Bournemouth would still be in the Premier League right now, and Villa would be back where they belong, which is in the Championship, because they're cheating motherfuckers. So it would sort of be. It's a shame Villa aren't going down, because that would be that would be absolute karma. Where if Villa were to go down, Bournemouth got promoted back again.
And the harsh thing was as well, Sheffield United are going. The harsh thing is as well, Sheffield United are going down. Well, kind of harsh, but Sheffield United are going down because Aston Villa, with their goal line technology thing, with the blocking, actually prevented Sheffield United from getting Europe, and now they're going down as well, and not Aston Villa. Makes it even worse.
But I mean, to be fair, Sheffield United would have struggled anyway with no fans. It kind of just that's one of their main driving forces.
Yeah, and you saw about the FA Cup final today. Fans can change a game so much.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just can't. I think Bournemouth have a good squad now. You know, they had a few players that they had when they were in the Prem for the season. They got relegated, but it's kind of this typical thing of they had them. It's like Norwich, I guess. They had them, weren't quite good enough for the Prem at that stage. They've gone down and they've had a season in the Championship to kind of develop as players, and they've come back. Like David Brooks, he wasn't really ready for the Premier League, but now he's had a good season in the Championship. He looks like he could be a good shout for a young player of the season next season. That Dan Juma fella, he struggled a lot in the Prem, but he's been quality this season. So I mean, I even like putting me not wanting Bournemouth back in the Prem. I can't see them coming back up anyway. To be fair, I just feel like Swansea and Brentford.
Who do you think? Oh, fair.
Swansea or Brentford are I personally would like.
You're not betting on Barnsley.
I personally want Barnsley to come back, to come up. Sorry, because I think that'd be amazing. Considering they stayed up last day of the season last season, and now getting promoted, that'd be pretty.
It's like Leicester winning the FA Cup. Still, I think Barnsley going up to the Premier League will be another kick in the face to the Super League.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting playoff, I reckon. But Bournemouth, I don't know. I don't think they have it in them.
Yeah, Kenny put on the private chat here the points in
Mm.
21 in the last 21 games. Bournemouth 15, Brentford 15, Barnsley 16, Swansea 13. So Barnsley, in terms of form, are
Barnsley
probably the
are in
favourites to go up, and I wouldn't bet against Barnsley to go up. I think my predictions for the playoffs this season were Barnsley for Prem, Blackpool for Championship, and Morecambe for League One. But yeah, I think Barnsley on points and form are the ones with the most to work for. I think Bournemouth are close, as is Brentford. So I think that's why I think Bournemouth and Brentford will be a closer game. Because I think, like Max said, it's one goal that could separate it. But I think also on form, I think both teams are equally going into this with an equal mindset. Like, both of us could win this. So
I think if you
it
think
comes down to who wants it.
If you think about it, all four teams kind of have a driving force for it. Barnsley will want it because of the story, what they've done last season and this season.
Happy ever after.
Bournemouth got relegated last season. You know, they're going to want it to go straight back up. Swansea got knocked out last season by Brentford, and then Brentford obviously bottled it once again, playoff final. So it's going to be a really interesting thing for all four teams.
They've all got a story to tell, and only one of them gets a happy ever after.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch the Brentford Bournemouth game. I'm not going to lie. That's going to be the most.
I'm going to be watching all of them. I'm really excited about both semi-finals, to be honest, because I think Barnsley could do the impossible, and Bournemouth and Brentford will be a really tight game between two. Let's face it, two sides that will reach the Premier League at some point anyway. So, I think it's Barnsley that have got the most. I think Barnsley have got the most pressure on them because they're the ones that are expected to complete this fairy tale story like Huddersfield did a few years ago. So. But I think Bournemouth and Brentford is going to be a game between two good sides.
I think Brentford have got the most pressure, you know.
Yeah,
because they bottled the final last year,
and also they've been in the championship for a while now, and everyone kind of expects them year by year to kind of be the ones to go up. Like last year,
I'm not going to lie to you. When they played us in that last game of the season in 2013 at Griffin Park. Even though we won 1-0 last minute, they had a really good team, and I knew they were going to reach the championship at some point. And then they bottled that playoff final to Yeovil, and then it was just up and up and up from there. And I see Brentford's growth, even though we've gone down and they've gone up. It's, you look at Brentford's growth, and it's like, that is how you run a football club. Like, they deserve to be in the Premier League. They've got a new stadium, they've got exciting talent that they then sell on. Watkins, Benrahma.
Luke doesn't like hearing about other teams being won where it upsets him.
No, I agree with him. I agree with Aaron.
All the teams, because Swansea, I think this is their last year of the parachute payments. Correct me if I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, I think that's
they're the weakest squad in it, and the fairy tale story, of course, as Aaron said, and also Brentford, they're becoming a bit known as like the bottle jobs of the championship, the Spurs of the championship. They need to start breaking that.
I think
I had no idea it was last year of the parachute payments. If there's no way of giving us more money to lower league clubs, that's a disgrace.
Well, no, it's not giving money to the teams that go down, which I have absolutely no issue with doing, because why should they be rewarded essentially for getting relegated?
Unless it is a club that's like financially on the brink of administration, they're a good run club and they're on the brink of financial administration, and one relegation could put them out of business in a way.
Not my problem. Don't get relegated. Don't overspend.
One thing, like the only benefit, but I think Bournemouth have going back up is for the other teams in the Prem. I think there's a bit more money to go out to them because of TV rights, something to do with TV rights. There'll be less money, like more money to give to the Premier League clubs if all three of the same teams go back up. But I mean, as from like a football fan standpoint, it wouldn't be the most interesting thing to see all three teams. And even then, two of the teams that came up are going straight back down.
Yeah.
So
I want Bournemouth to go up. I have like if I had to pick a team out of the championship that was like my team to go for, it's Bournemouth, just mainly because I love David Brooks. He's such a class player. Like if he leaves Bournemouth, then I'll move away from Bournemouth and and go support Point Norwich. They'll be down. They're going straight back down, aren't they?
I mean, it brings up an interesting debate that, you know, it's the same teams going up and down every year. How coincident would it be if Brentford went up and their opponents in the final last season, Fulham, already down to Championship? But, like, it does bring up that interesting debate. Like, I saw an article this week, and it was like, in the Championship, at least 2 home games get a game on Sky Sports. In League One, 4 out of the 24 teams get 1 game on Sky Sports. There's only 4 League One and League Two games on Sky Sports, but each Championship team gets 2 home games each. Like, that's disgraceful. It's like you're caring about the Championship more than us.
I've always said that I would rather they split the TV rights up. So I
want
would
to see a Sky Sports League 1 and a Sky Sports League 2 with a red button option to give you the chance to view any game.
No, I don't want that. What I want them to do...
It means that every team gets TV rights.
Yeah, but what I want them to do is I want them to sell them separately. So I want them to sell the Championship rights separately to League 1 and 2, and then allow, like, BT Sport, because they do Vanarama Conference, don't they? Or Vanarama National League now.
And I in football, they could do it.
BT would definitely take on Leagues 1 and 2. So I'd love to see the EFL sell the rights separately. Look, in terms of the TV rights, you're paying most of it for the Championship anyway, because that's what you're paying for.
Yeah.
The EFL would make more money. I don't know how they haven't decided this already, because they would make more money, because Sky aren't paying for Leagues 1 and 2. They're doing that as an obligation, because it's like, well, we best show them. Whereas if you offer BT at a reasonable rate, they'd be like, yeah, we'll do it. Because
I think a lot of people would tune into the lower leagues as well, because there are a lot of people that know how entertaining the EFL is. Like,
I mean, our former chairman told me a few weeks ago that he wanted to go to Premier League a decade ago when he was running our club, when we were at the height of our glory. And and nowadays, he said to me a few weeks ago, he was like, well, I don't really want to go up to Premier League because it don't interest me anymore. Like, the lower leagues are so much interesting because there's not, it doesn't feel, it feels like football compared to the Premier League. It feels like proper football.
Oh, no, absolutely. I would love our goal to be in the Prem, just so I can beat Arsenal.
I'd love Donny to be in the Prem, but lower leagues are generally right now more interesting than the Premier League because it's more exciting and it's actual football.
There's
it's
no
not
VAR
just sponsors and average weight. There's no VAR, no real sponsors, and no average weight, no massive wage checks for average players. It's just pure football.
I think a lot of I'm a Big Six fan of as an Arsenal fan, but I still like every year when there's playoffs, even the League Two playoffs, I always watch them because they're an interesting. Like the leagues, the EFL leagues are very interesting for an entertainment purpose. As a neutral, especially, it makes it even better because you can't really expect anything in the Championship, League One and League Two. Like there will be upsets all the time. When in the Premier League, every here and there's upsets, but most weeks you expect City to turn up to a team and win. You expect United to go to a team and win.
Well, I suppose the biggest shock was when Arsenal beat Chelsea twice, wasn't it? So I suppose
exactly.
You do get them upset sometimes. Luke is high on life at the moment because Leicester won the FA Cup, so he's on cloud fucking 9 at the moment. I haven't looked in the group chat. I'm sure you lot have been bullying the shit out of Ross. I'm sure he's delighted. But as I've said about how Bournemouth played, they play very much like United. It's so strange. Like in terms of their formation, their style of play, it's all a bit mad. But what's everyone's predictions for Bournemouth? Are they going up or are they staying down? What's everyone going for?
I've gone for I'm stuck between either a semi-final defeat or a defeat in the final against Barnsley. I'm gonna go with a semi-final defeat. I think Brentford will bottle it in the final.
That's interesting. Kenny, what about you? Bournemouth going up or are they staying down?
I think Bournemouth will be decided to go up. I think they'll sneak past Brentford 2-1 in the first leg and 1-0 in the second leg. Then I think they'll narrowly beat Swansea in the playoff final 3-2.
Yeah, that's a fair one. What about you, Max? What do you think playoffs will have in store for Bournemouth?
I'm thinking same as Aaron here. I think it'll be a close 1-0 win for Brentford. And I think Blackpool will get into the final. Oh, wait. I'm thinking the League One. Hold on. I'm thinking on the league.
I hope.
Don't worry,
Blackpool
Max.
don't
I predicted Blackpool to win to get promotion to Championship anyway.
I hope Blackpool don't get promotion to the Championship. Genie will be fucking unbearable. Also, I want to see Genie and Dom fucking, because Dom has got this like weird thing. Whatever Genie does and likes, Dom likes and does.
I'm
Very
probably
strange.
voting Dom as well now. They've managed to rope me in as well. Don't know how.
Okay, so I also want to see Luke's tears as well. I just want to see their
Oh,
tears. Like,
I want Blackpool to win too.
well,
If it's not Blackpool, it'll be Lincoln.
I want it to be Lincoln. They've got a former goalkeeper as well.
Oh yeah,
Alex Palmer.
Burnley and Everton before, haven't they?
I remember when
Yeah,
Hull played Sunderland like a couple of years back.
yeah.
That'll
For
be
League
nice.
2, I just went with Morecambe or Forest Green.
I went for Exeter. Oh wait, no, I didn't. They bottle playoffs. Actually, no, they didn't even bottle playoffs,
What
did
about
they?
Salford City now? I think Salford City might be favourites, to be honest.
They're no one's favourites. They're killing football with their money.
They signed Gary Bauer on the permanent.
They actually.
Yeah, he's manager on a 2-year deal.
I'm surprised they didn't go get Pep. But Max, what's your predictions? Bournemouth going up or are they staying down?
I'd say they're staying. But I don't know about Swansea and Barnsley because that's going to be a close game as well, considering what Barnsley have done this year. Also,
Yeah.
Luke have done well this year. They've been like Barnsley. They've improved a lot this year. So it's going to be very tough in that one, but I can't see Bournemouth going any further than the final.
Yeah.
It's
No,
going to be
I hear that.
the same as Aaron, really.
Yeah. What about you, Luke? Or Luke's running away.
I don't think Bournemouth are going up. They'll bottle it to Brentford in the semis, and then Brentford will beat Swansea in the final. Sadly, as much as I want to see Barnsley go up, I just don't know. I just think
To
Swansea.
be fair, Bournemouth bottling it in a semi. Like, they play like United. They have the same styles of play. It wouldn't surprise me if they do bottle a semi-final. That is the traditional United way, up until the Europa League anyway. Kenny, if you lose that, I'm coming for you. And Dom and Matt and RJ, those pagans who couldn't even show their faces after Liverpool smacked you about like little children. Nah. I will have a lot of chest if Villarreal beat you in the Europa League final.
In the Europa League final, we'll batter Villarreal. Remember,
I'm
this,
glad you said that
batter
because I'm
Villarreal.
clipping that. I'm clipping that.
And if you don't, you'll see my tears. But I won't back
I
away
hope
from
so.
that reaction.
It's okay. The rest of them did, and then it caused a huge argument in the group chat, which I thought was, well, when I say huge argument, I mean Dom basically insulting RJ.
It wasn't just on the group chat, to be fair. It was on here.
Yeah, we were fairly. Hey, I was fairly nice about it. Well, I thought we were all fairly nice.
It was fairly
but-
nice until Dom showed up outside in pitch black, just
Yeah.
cursing everyone out.
Doing God knows what. He is a strange character, is Dom. That's for sure.
And I'm fucking strange. That's a different level of strange.
No. You're definitely still strange. That's without a shadow of a doubt. Don't worry about that one. You're still a strange one. But we're gonna wrap it up there. That was all Bournemouth. We're gonna have Brentford, Swansea, and Barnsley coming up next. I've got a lot of research to do, but I'll do that tomorrow because fuck doing it right now. Been doing too much anyway. But we have got a lot planned in the summer. Me and Saul's working very, very hard on the Euros. Plenty of stuff coming there. We'll also have watch-alongs for all the playoff finals I'm not doing every semi-final because that will just, that's too much. That's too much. But we're going to have every playoff final as watch-alongs. So that'll be an entire weekend. Hopefully Genie's team doesn't get to the final, and then he can join the watch-along. I could be like, so Genie, this team beat you, didn't they? And just rip into him for a solid 2 hours. It would be beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But tomorrow, yeah, we've got all sorts of shit. I think Liverpool playing tomorrow. Yeah, I think Liverpool playing. I've got a match reaction. I know I've got one of the teams for a match reaction. And then we've got two of the
Wednesday.
I think Chelsea's got Leicester in a few days as well.
Yeah, they have. But in terms of tomorrow, I think it is Liverpool. Then I've got Barnsley and Swansea. No, Brentford and Swansea. Looking at them in a bit more detail as well. Big thanks to everyone that's been watching. Go check out our socials at Let's Talk EPL Let's Talk EPL and No Context LTPL and Instagram at Let's Talk EPL and TikTok at Let's Talk Premier League. Wolf saying Luke's starting his own fan club in the chats as well.
Me and
Vel
Wolf
saying Velvet saying my biryani is sexy. Fuck you, Kenny. Wow, coming in with that energy, Velv. That's
unacceptable.
That is some energy.
Now,
Go get yourself a rum and coke and drown your sorrows. Wow, okay, Kenny's flying back with something. But Aaron, where can they find your drunk ass?
You can find me on Twitter at Aaron_Challoner, on the road to a K. From a football DRFC
on the road to
Monday.
a K.
No. On the road to 1,000 K, 1K. But yeah, also from a football DRFC manager announcement on Monday. I think we all have an idea of who it's going to be now, but there will be the official announcement on Monday, so I'm going to be staying all tuned for that. Yeah, no, Boothroyd's been ruled out. He's been ruled out. But I think we have an idea who it is now with the reports the last 48 hours. But big announcement video on Monday. Still doing coverage for the playoffs, still doing coverage for Euros, Champions League, Europa League. We've still got an FA Cup final to review to film as well. So loads of stuff going down, and I'm just gonna take it as it goes. I'm fucking all over, man.
Any gals watching? Aaron is 2 Guinnesses, and he's all yours. That's how it works.
I've got a date next week. I'm not available.
Okay, I'll make sure I tell her. I'll make sure I tell her that you're 2 Guinnesses and do anything she likes. Then
she's up for it.
Vel saying Luke fight me, and then Wolf says Vel fight me. Okay.
She messaged me today saying stop or anything.
This is hilarious. Sure, Mr. Wolf, I will fight you. You'll get knocked out, mate. Wolf saying, I'm a mixed martial artist. You are fucked, Valve. Unlucky, mate. Unlucky, Valve. You fucked up there, mate. You fucked up.
We've got our undercard. We've got our undercard for Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather, bro.
But Kenny, where can they find you?
You can find me rent-free in Velvishwan's head.
I hear that. I do hear that. Any other places or just in Velvishwan's head?
You can also find Luke in the Championship in a few seasons.
Unbelievable. Max,
why would I be in the Championship?
This is going to be a great summer with Mikel Arteta.
Wow,
don't say his name.
This has so quickly turned into a banter show. I'm thinking I might do a banter show tomorrow. I might do.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it, but Romano said Arteta's staying.
Nah, we may do a banter show tomorrow. I don't know what we can banter. Maybe Chelsea. Maybe
not us because we didn't lose this week.
No, but you're still a banter club every other week.
Luke is literally there, like, you can't banter us, bitches. Unlucky.
I'm Chelsea, man.
Who won 9th in the league again? Please, can you remind me?
Not us.
See, now you know what, Luke.
It's
You
Villa, I
didn't
think.
get bantered. You can't get bantered this week because of the results. You're gonna get bantered because Romano has said that Arteta is staying, which is banterous enough.
It's not really anything I can. It's not really anything I can. I can't get bantered for our manager staying. It's not like I'm telling the
To be
Kroenke,
fair,
like,
you,
I know,
you
but the
done
fan
that,
base
man.
did crumble and stop the Kroenke protest. So they
you could hire Velvishwan as a hitman. He's already got a fair few.
And to be fair, Leeds won 4-0 today, so Leeds are catching up if you don't.
Valve saying, "I'm a former
Oh, yeah,
sumo
I've got
wrestler,
these.
mate. I will body you."
Oh
What was
my
that, Kenny?
God.
I'm a bunny, and a bunny kills wolf.
Do you wanna go, Vel? Do you wanna go?
Jesus
Me,
Christ!
me.
I don't know what
He's
this chat's
going,
turned
yeah,
into.
yeah.
But Luke, where can they find you?
At Luke AFC on Twitter and living in Ross's head run free.
I haven't even checked the group chat. I feel like I need to. And Max, if you're there, where can they find you, bro?
Well, there's not many places you can find me, really.
That's fair.
It's basically
Championship.
just Max Tag HC on YouTube and then Max Tag HC official on Instagram. Really, that's it. That's pretty much it at the moment.
They'll find you in the
Damn
championship.
it. Yeah, no,
What
it's
videos
good.
are coming on my channel?
I can imagine. And because we're not going to see this video many times, I'm just going to play us out on the video. I actually put effort into this one. Looks good. But we'll be back tomorrow. We've also got transfer talk tomorrow. Got to find some stories for that. That'll be at 3 p.m. normal time is transfer talk. So talking all things transfers. Something new, something different. Yes, Aaron, you're going to talk on Monday. What am I doing Monday?
Monday, 6:30 on the First 11 YouTube channel, the EFL show.
Oh yeah, I've decided I'm just going to do a banter show that day, and I'm just going to banter anything that comes my way.
I'm going to brace myself for that. I'm going to brace myself and get my Donny fan base ready to put in ridiculous comments.
Well, I mean, they already do put in ridiculous comments, so you don't need to egg them on to do it. They already do it. I will banter all of them. Don't you worry about that. But a big thanks to everyone that's been watching. We'll be back tomorrow. But until then, thanks for watching and have a good night.
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.